What is it?
Hello, welcome to The Essential Gamer. You're watching What Is It with me, Lee, and what it is Foreclosed, a third-person cyberpunk adventure. Yes. So Foreclosed, coming from Antab Studio and Merge Games, is it's a third-person cyberpunk adventure, but it's also a comic book cyberpunk adventure. So you get all these nice comic book panel style imagery on the screen here, and there's lots of different scenes and moments in the game which are played through this kind of panel layout, which is really satisfying. So you do get the full third person over the shoulder shooter experience, but you get a lot of other game types within Foreclosed, and that's one of the positives about Foreclosed, because I'll tell you this, while I sound quite positive right now, it's not going to stay that way. It's not going to stay that way. So we're going to start with the positives, and the positives are Foreclosed is presented wonderfully. The cel-shaded sort of comic book appearance really suits the game down to the ground. There's lots of different perspective changes and things like that within the game, and they all add to it, every single one. Every moment, whether it be a stealth section, whether it be a puzzle section, whether it just be a little bit of storytelling, all plays out really well because of the overall presentation of the game. So, big plus. Big plus. But then we get into the story, and it's quite a linear experience. It's quite short, probably took me, 3.5 hours. 4 hours, because I was looking around trying to get all the extra stuff to complete it on my first go. Didn't do that. So it's a short linear experience. And as I say, I'm starting with the positives. So, there's puzzle sections which play out easily but satisfyingly, because if you do get it wrong, because sometimes you have to do these puzzles in a hurry, there's a slight timer and things like that. So there's some thrills there. And there's also the gunplay. And this is where it all starts to fall apart, because the gunplay is looser than your mum on a Saturday night. Sorry if your mum is like that, but I'm just saying it's a little bit wobbly. It's a bit unsettling. And because of that, I actually went for more of the stealth options. Now, it's cyberpunk, so you've got implants and cybernetics and all that sort of stuff within your body, and you can do a variety of different things. You can do like a brain burnout type thing on the bad guys, where you tap triangle or the applicable button, and this sort of holds them in a stasis of burning and they can't do anything. You can overheat yourself to cause an explosion. You can use your brain berry to take over turrets or open doors or turn things on and off and that sort of stuff. And that's all very cool, and it's all very nicely presented. And I say, the general presentation of Foreclosed is fantastic, and there's a lot of different gameplay elements that come in throughout its quite short lifespan that are really quite satisfying. But then you get back to the sort of core of it, away from the stealth, away from everything else, and it's a short story, third-person shooter. And the story is delivered by people with the most wooden... Well, actually, the main character is the most wooden person in the world. He may as well be Woody from Toy Story 3. He is that wooden. The others, the supporting cast, namely the main antagonists, are the best part of the storytelling. But then we get back to the gameplay and the gunplay. And I preferred staying in these sort of perspective-changing panel sections of comic book adventure more than the main gameplay loop, which was the gunplay, and that's the wrong way around. So what's wrong with the gunplay? Well, like I said, it's too loose, and there's certain aspects of your attacking, the arsenal that you can use. So you can use telekinesis, which you unlock later on, spoiler alert. But I'm telling you that because by the time you get all of the sort of faculties worked out, all the different abilities that you can use sort of down, you run out of time, you finish the game. And then you come to the AI, which are, the main part of what you're doing, and God, they're fucking stupid. Oh, sorry to sound like an old man, but they just made me groan. They're terrible. They run to one spot, they fire at boxes, you can stand behind it for ages. I stood here for about 15 minutes just testing it. They didn't do anything. Every so often on certain sections, some AI are actually programmed to walk slowly towards you. But that is it. They don't evade things that might explode. They don't duck behind cover. There's not even a lock-on cover for this cover shooter. I know it's a third-person shooter, but come on. Jesus. And then there was the glitches, which I had quite a few of. One of my favourite ones was the levitating man. This was the best example of the levitating man, as he goes through a wall, and then at the end of going through a wall, he just decides to do his version of a T-pose. It's just a strange leaning back. It scared me. It was terrifying. Happened more than once. Probably about 5 times over the 3.5 hour play time of one playthrough. And unfortunately, that wasn't the only glitch that I encountered. There was more. There was UI issues with writing not disappearing and overlapping the abilities as I was trying to map them to the buttons and things like that. Talking of the abilities, every time you die, for some reason, it resets those abilities. Even if it had saved it before in a previous checkpoint, when you die, in my experience, it just continuously unmapped those buttons for me. There was other bits where certain perspectives forced the gameplay view to somehow go off screen. Also, I wasn't able to use any abilities or shoot in this section. I don't know why, and it caused me to die. So yeah, a bit painful. When it's good though, it's actually very good. Foreclosed in its stealth sections I really enjoyed. I liked these sort of hacking things, meeting the new characters as you know, as I say, the antagonist is fantastic. I think there's some side characters that are good as well, but it all comes too soon, too short, and the whole experience feels a bit rushed at times, and it feels a bit cheap in other times, just to hold you up. Like arbitrary puzzles seem to, you know, get in the way of what is otherwise a very well told short story. I said some of the acting's a little bit wooden, but it's an indie game, maybe I should forgive that. It's just, I wish it was a little bit better away from the story. The story is good, but it's lifting a lot of things from other games and putting it in this game, and it kind of leaves me in a position where I'm like, you know, I just want to make noises. Just want to make noises instead of actually enjoying it. Like I just want to enjoy it, and it kind of tries to stop me. And I completed it twice. There's a secret ending. Am I going to do it again? No, I'm not. Sorry. So Foreclosed is a decent cyberpunk story. Unfortunately, it's not a very good third-person shooter due to its very erratic aiming, its very inconsistent lock assist, and its spullet bunge. Spullet bunge. Spullet bunge enemies, which just soak up bullets like soaky bullet soaker-uppers, ruining my day and my playthrough, just like all the other issues, like the glitches and the wooden acting and the other bits and bobs, getting in the way of my thoroughly enjoyable comic book adventure presented wonderfully. Bit of a juxtaposition, really. I'm in two minds about it. And I suppose, unless you really, really like the cyberpunk theme, I couldn't really recommend it to you, which is a shame, actually. With that in mind, I'd like to say thank you for watching. As always, if this video has been any good to you, please do like and subscribe to the channel. If it hasn't, tell me why in the comments. I will take that comment. I will download it to a USB stick. I will jack into that USB stick, and we'll see if the cyber splooge can make anything worth talking about. How's that?